Those Phillies players, to a man, got to be saying, it's just a matter of time. We're going to get you. And you look at that last 18 games, Ruben Amaro Jr., as we welcome you to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. You look at those last 18 games during which they're 15-3, and they come back and they win the games by any means necessary. Home runs, hits, walks, hit by pitch, and that's what they did tonight against a pretty good starter in Andrew Heaney.
Yeah, you talk about the personality of the team, Michael, and to me, the personality of this team is we're going to figure out ways to win baseball games. We are gritty. It wasn't pretty. It was not a pretty baseball game, especially early, but they did wear down the starting pitcher so they can get to the bullpen. They didn't score the runs they needed to score, and you're thinking to yourself at first, hey, we're just not getting the big base hit. It's not going to happen. But they grinded it out. They figured out how to make something happen. I think Johan Rojas had a phenomenal game, scoring 3 runs. And when you do that from the 9-hole, that's pretty impressive. That's a big deal. And he really didn't even get any hits. So really impressive, just a team effort again. Great job by Ranger Suarez. I know he got that long inning in the 5th inning when they scored the 1 run. Maybe that took him out of his rhythm a little bit for the top of the 6th. They banged him for 3 runs, but they bounced back and they got the W, and that's the most important part of this. 1
hit on 4 walks and a hit by pitch. 1 hit, they get those 4 runs.
Yeah, and you can call this a gift, Michael, but really, honestly, and in some ways, yes, it was. But they worked those walks, and they were tough at bats in certain situations. The Castellanos 0-2 breaking ball off his foot, that was a little bit of a gift. But you start thinking about what Rojas did, what Schwarber and Harper did as far as handling that tough left-hander. I mean, left-handers are hitting like 0.65 against Baruki, and they ended up getting a couple of big walks against him to turn that lineup over and keep it rolling and give other opportunities to score some runs.
So the Phillies take it 8-3. They're 26-18. That's a .591 win percentage. That equals 96 wins, and that isn't bad. The Mets were losing at last check. But also, I think as important, this is the different Phillies team that lost to the Mets 3 straight at Citi Field and then the first game at Wrigley before going on a 13-5 tear in their last 18 games.
Well, they're playing better baseball overall. I mean, obviously their offense is better. They had not slugged very much up until that point, so it's nice to see that. But they do have one of the best starting rotations in all of baseball. Yes, they're going to lose Aaron Nola for a little bit. He had been struggling, but there's other guys that can pick it up. This is a pretty well-balanced team right now, and the fact that their bullpen over the last couple of weeks have actually gotten better and better, that's a great sign as well. So they're just playing a better brand of baseball, and this is a perfect example of it. Pirates not a great team, but they figured out a way to win this baseball game no matter what, and you got to beat all the teams. I mean, yeah, I know this is not a great club, but they did a nice job of bouncing back and not letting themselves fold.
And let's take a look at our Eye on the Mound, presented by PGW. Energy for all of us. It's the numbers for Ranger Suarez tonight. And guess what, friends? He pitched pretty gosh darn good and had his team 98 pitches. So he was about at the end of his rope with regard to that, Ruben, but had his team gotten him some more runs before he left the game. He made a mistake to Canario, gives up a 3-run shot. But 7 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts, and 6 hits, not too shabby.
Yeah, Michael, I was looking at some of the numbers. You know, the last game he threw when he really dealt against the Cleveland Guardians, he threw 30% four-seamers, 20% changeups, and 20% sinkers. In this game, he goes to 27% changeups, 23% sinkers. He mixes it up. So he has the ability to find what's working for him and go to those pitches and to mix it up. When his breaking stuff and his off-speed stuff is good, he can be outstanding. He still has really good arm speed on his stuff, and he can still run that fastball in. Wasn't getting that call on that fastball in off the right-handers, was just missing with it. But his other off-speed stuff was effective enough through 67 or 68% strikes, which is a great ratio. You're looking at, Ranger Suarez being Ranger Suarez of maybe the first 2 months of the season last year, and much closer to what the Phillies were hoping for in the beginning of the season. Now they're getting it right now.
Which brings up the question, my friend, can we trust what we have seen these past couple of starts? Remember, he had a real tough first start, brought the numbers way down, went down a little bit more tonight to just over 5. Is this the guy of April, May, June of 24?
I think it can be, but it's all about the health, Michael. Really, to me, it's about whether or not he can be healthy and take care of himself. It's about his lower half. It's about his back and making sure that he is healthy. If he's healthy and he has that sort of arm speed and able to use his lower half to create that arm speed, then I think you're getting one of the better left-handers in the game. You start coupling that left-hander with Sanchez and Luzardo. Oh, my goodness. That's exciting. I mean, that's as good of a starting staff just on the left-handers alone, and you're not even talking about Zach Wheeler yet. And that's a real exciting part of what we can see as we move the season forward.
Phillies take it 8-4. Let's go post-game into the clubhouse. Here's Rob Thomson.
Did you think that just passing the baton, guys grinding out at bats, kind of led to that comeback?
Yeah, that what was it, the 7th inning? 4 walks, hit batsman, broken bat single, and a sac fly, and got some runs across. So those at bats were really good, really good. Harper had a big night. Trey was good. With the triple was huge at the end. Rojas had really good at bats tonight, really did.
What was your first reaction on the Harper check swing?
You know what? I was blocked off by the on deck, by Schwarber in the on deck circle, so I didn't really see it.
How cool is it to see Bryce get that milestone moment?
It's great. I know you all read the notes, and that list that he's on, there's some pretty heavy names on there, and it's quite a group that he's a part of, and just goes to show you how great of a hitter he's been.
What did you just make of his night overall? Come through a few hits.
Yeah, it's great. 3 hits and hit a couple balls hard, and I liked his at bats. They're getting better.
What did you think of Ranger tonight?
I thought he was fantastic. One bad pitch, really. Is it Canario? They got him below the barrel with some change-ups early in that at bat, and they were trying to go up and in with a fastball, and it just leaked out over the outside part of the plate. And he's a strong kid, and put it in the seats. Other than that, he was fantastic. Change-up was really good. For the most part, he got ahead in the count. I thought he threw a lot of really good breaking balls, good shape, threw them right on the back of the plate, got some swings and misses on it. So, it was really good.
Bryce has had a lot of success with 2 strikes lately. What do you make of the fight in his at-bats?
In Bryce?
Yeah.
Well, that's who he is. When he's going good, he's going to fight, and he's going to be a tough out. He's going to use the field. He's going to do a lot of different things, and he's going to put the ball in seats if you make a mistake. So even with two strikes. So.
Putting Aaron on the injured list, basically just an abundance of caution kind of thing?
Yeah, really. I mean, it's an ankle, and we're seeing a little bit of changes in his mechanics, and don't want this thing to turn into an elbow or a shoulder. So we want to nip it right now, and it won't be long because the ankle's getting better, but it's not gone. So we want to flush it out and take care of him.
Was Strom available at the end of the game tonight?
Yep, he was available. All right, thank you.
But look at this list. And he's the 8th active player to get 1,000 or more runs batted in. He's at 1,001. Freddie Freeman, he can't play. Neither can Goldie or Nolan Arenado. How about, that's what an achievement, Ruben.
It's a tremendous achievement, and there's some of those guys who are going to be in the Hall of Fame at some point, and I do believe Harper will certainly be one of those. And sometimes it's not about how hard you hit it, it's how you battle. He had great at-bats today. He didn't smoke every single ball, but what he did was put the ball in play. It wasn't the prettiest thing, but I thought the coolest thing about this was that the fans acknowledged it immediately. And that's what our fan base is about, man. They are so in tune to stuff, especially when it comes to Harper, obviously, because it's just such an important part of this organization. But for them to acknowledge that immediately, and for him to acknowledge them as well, thought it was a really cool moment.
It was really sweet. 271st player all time to achieve 1,000 or more runs batted in the history of baseball. That is pretty special as well. And you know he's going to go up higher on that list before it's all done. Bryce Harper in the clubhouse.
What did that moment mean to you to get your 1,000th RBI?
Yeah, obviously you always want more, and there's a lot of baseball ahead of me and this team as well, and obviously having moments like that are really cool on a personal level, and really cool to be part of that company, that history. Tom read some names, and just to be part of that is just a really cool moment for me, and pretty awesome.
Do you remember your first RBI?
Yeah, Fran, he just told me the sac fly in Dodger Stadium, I think, or whatever it was, to left field.
And keel.
That's right. Yep.
How much do you guys pride yourself on, like, the way you grinded out at bats in that 7th inning tonight to kind of spark the rally?
Yeah, it was great. I think just as a whole, I thought Ranger threw the ball great. Obviously, you make one bad pitch and something happens, but I thought we fought back. Thought we did a great job, having good at bats all night. And then obviously, I thought Rojas had an incredible at bat. Getting things going late in the game and scoring the runs that we needed to. Obviously, we don't ever know what's going to happen in the 9th inning, so good to have those extra runs on there. And then obviously, how he comes in and shuts the door.
How close do you think that check swing was?
You just never know. I mean, obviously, I'm trying to get there, and but I mean, it's such a tweener play that you just don't know. Win our way.
Do you like kind of just putting the bat on the ball today and getting some positive results? I mean, you had the bloop swing to the left. You get it through the drawn-in infield there in the 8th. Score a couple.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take any hits any way I can. As long as I'm trying to help the team win, and just got to keep going, keep pounding.
Are you any less frustrated maybe with your swing than you were a week ago, 2 weeks ago? How do you feel right now?
No, I mean, obviously I'm not where I want to be, but it's part of it, and just got to keep grinding. I'm doing it every day. Down there trying to feel good and feel good during the game, and obviously I'm putting myself in some bad situations as well, swinging at pitches out of the zone, and just got to keep pounding the pavement and doing everything I can to get better.